Hi guys, just give me 1 second before we go live. Alright, awesome. Okay, so good morning on this Tuesday, and I think it's been a little bit strange on my charts actually. I'm sure you guys are seeing some of the same things. Uh, seems like the Australian dollar and some of the euro and the yen are the only things that are kind of really moving today. Uh, yeah, so we'll talk a little bit about what's happening and what's been going on with the news briefly, and then we'll talk a lot of technical analysis and charts and stuff. Um, okay, so in the news, let me pull that up. The just the biggest two things that I've been watching are the big yen fall. Actually, the yen gaining some value. So it was you probably remember a couple weeks ago when the all that talk came out about the potential stimulus that was going to be done, and it was pretty dramatic. There wasn't anything that was put in place at the time. Um, it was all conjecture. So they recently have corrected that, saying that, or there's been rumors that it may not be as bad as they thought it would be. Um, and not as large of a stimulus package will be needed. At least that's what they're saying. And so the yen took a huge gain on many pairs over the course of the night, since I'm in Maryland, the USA. So right now, that's currently what was taking place, and there's also been a lot of expectations that the pound will do some more easing, or will drop more, um, in that they may need some uh, monetary easing. Monetary speculation has been pretty negative for the pound as of recent. So I'm expecting that the pound will take a more of a drop in the mid to long term. Although I am on the pound Japanese yen at the moment, and I'll talk about that here in a few minutes. Okay, so let's start on the euro US dollar first, and we'll make our way through my pairs uh, to talk about some of the technical side of things. Uh, But first, actually, we do have some news coming out for the U.S. in about 25 minutes. So maybe we can catch the news statement that comes out in the home sales, and see if that really affects the market in any way. And then we have some pretty heavy stuff coming on Wednesday with the FOMC C rate. Um, coming out as well. So it's a pretty heavy news week. I would say that today is probably my last day of executing trades, and then I'll probably still execute some, but I'm gonna be a lot more skeptical and picky with the trades I take. Also, for those of you watching on YouTube, I will be trying to remember to check out the YouTube page, just in case you have any comments. I keep forgetting to do that. Okay. All right. So the euro US dollar. If we're doing some trend lines, it's been pretty nice here at uh, making new lower lows, higher lows, lower highs, I mean. And so I'm expecting that the euro will continue to fall more. Uh, and I would guess this level down here would be tested. So this would come back down and test this level. And So definitely downward movement on the Euro US dollar. There was this here, a small Harami candle that happened after this push up, uh, which could be an indication for the trend continuing. It wasn't a lot of movement up before that candle happened, only about 65 pips. But yeah, definitely here, and then the pair started moving down, and I expect this to fall more. So. Yeah, guys, they just informed me, Potter, when you were asking what's his name, that you can see who's coming up next at the top of the video. Right above the video screen, you'll see there's a little live stream schedule, and it says who's coming next and when. Yeah, it's pretty nice change that they just made. So keep an eye on that, guys. Okay, so I'm not taking any trades on the Euro US dollar right now. We just have I'm looking at this low, and then we'll see if that breaks or not. I won't be taking any trades until that level is knocked out. I'm going to talk about move straight over to the pound Japanese yen pair that I'm in. Or trade that I'm in, and just because it's in profit right now and it could pop and hit my take profit level. I took this trade based off of the 4-hour chart. I even placed this on the live stream. You can see it was executed about an hour ago. And the basis on this trade was a move down. This low was taken out. In particular with this push down, I'm looking at this move here. Now, there were a lot of red candles in a row, and then we had this Harami here. The first bullish candle right after this push down, and I expected a decent move up after that. This is the 4-hour chart, so I'm taking 30 pips profit on this. And I'm pretty sure that this is going to hit. I mean, it could get really close and back down, but the larger the time frame, so the 4-hour and daily, I feel like the more accurate this candle technique that I'm using is. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about the higher time frames here later on after I talk about the initial 8 pairs that I trade. So we're just about to hit profit. Oh, and it's just closed out. Okay. So that's 30 pips closed out on the pound Japanese yen. And this is let me see if I can. This is my account over at Oanda, and you can see the profit. Oops, that is the strategy tester from that trade. So I pulled in $25 from that trade on my live account, which you can see here on SimpleTrader.com. It's called Pullback, U.S. compliant, a U.S. compliant signal, and this hasn't updated with the new trade that I just closed out yet. I'll come back to this in a little bit later. Okay, so the pound is starting to move on pretty much all pairs right now. And next we'll talk the US dollar Japanese yen. I briefly mentioned about this move down and why that happened. And the monetary easing is not going to be as severe as they initially thought. At least there is talk about that. So I don't know if this is manipulation on their side, causing it to go up in this way because of the stimulus, potential stimulus, and then talking about how there isn't as much stimulus needed, causing this to go down. And so, to me, this is almost like a big, huge manipulation tactic here. Since we don't really know what's happening with the yen yet, it's all speculation and definitely conjecture. Um, so let's. I'm not really trading on the yen right now. I'm actually not trading at all, but I did see this happen, and I decided to pick the pound over the pound Japanese yen over this pair. So I saw this move. Obviously, it looks almost the same on the U.S. dollar Japanese yen compared to the pound Japanese yen. And I saw this Harami as well for the market for the pair to bounce back up. Now it's currently happening, and that actually had a 30 pip move up as well. So even if I did take that trade, it would have hit profit as well. So I stayed out of this one for one reason, and took this trade over. The pound Japanese yen is more volatile, and I'm only looking for 30 pips. So I knew that my chances were a bit higher to get that 30 pips more quickly on the pound Japanese yen than it would be on the US dollar Japanese yen. So that's why I picked that pair over. But I'm not going to enter them both. I'm not going to enter both UJ and the GJ at the same time. I feel like that's too correlated. I don't want to be on the same type of trade on both pairs. So this was a good trade, and it's definitely according to my system. We had a good move down from the top to the bottom, more than enough pips from the top. I like that there'd be 150 to 200 pips. There was 350 from that move, and we did start to get that push up, and profit would have been had of 20 to 30 pips on the UJ. All right, moving on. The Euro Australian dollar. This is the pair that I'm on, and I took last night. Now, last night I would be different for you guys. It was how many hours ago? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It was about 9 hours ago that I entered this this trade. I saw this push down here. In particular, this move here. I saw this big bearish candle with a big wick cut back, and then I saw this Harami candle, and then entered my trade here directly on the next. There was a spread difference, and so that's why my order is showing in this area. I took that trade, hoping that it would move up. It didn't do that and moved back down. Now, it's looking like this support area is holding for now. So this area, and then I'm going to be looking for some candle hints. So hints in price action, in particular the candles, to see if there's potential for any move back up down here. I do have my second order placed just in case the pair does drop down further, and my pending order will be executed. But if I see some price action hints indicating that this could jump back up earlier before this order is hit, then I might jump back in earlier than that. It just depends on what the price gives me. Okay, so that's where I'm placed on the Euro Australian dollar. I'm just gonna have to wait it out and see what happens. We'll come back to that pair a little bit later. Now, as I've said before, these two pairs, the EA and the AU, are correlated a lot of the time. So when this is moving up, the Euro Australian dollar is likely moving down. So there was, at the same time that I got that Euro at the EA trade, this happened. This Harami, it's a weaker Harami than the one I got on the EA. It's still technically an order. So new high. This high was broken, and this made a new high. Harami candle. Enter for a sell trade, and the same thing happened. We didn't get the profit on that pair. At least I don't think so. It only moved about 10 pips, and if we were looking for just 20, we still wouldn't have gotten it. Okay. So if I did not take this trade, I took the Euro Australian dollar over this position. I thought it was a better looking trade, and I didn't want to take both of them because it would be correlated. I already talked about this pair. It's now it's moved up a good 80 pips. I was considering moving it, leaving this trade in to basically basket my drawdown on the Euro Australian dollar. I could have done that, but I did lock in the 30 pips profit, which is good as well. I'm expecting a bit more move up. It could even retest this area, or even here as well. There's also this area. So there's potential retracement areas where it could continue its downward movement after it pushes up just a bit more. All right, also a trade on this pair. Move down, same as the UJ and the GJ. Move down here again, and then a Harami candle, and then a move up. And we did get the move there. So if we're taking 20 to 30 pips like I usually do, then that's definitely enough. 34 pips there. Like I said before, I wanted one of these pairs. I chose from the UJ, the GJ, and the EJ, and I picked the best one I felt that would give me my profit quickest, pretty much. And it looked like I think I chose wisely that the pound moved faster than the rest of them, and I guess it's because it's currently more volatile. All right, so I'm still expecting more of a retracement in this down move. First level I would be looking at is there for it to go back up, and then I would guess more downward movement after that. There's a weak one here as well. So I really don't know how far this push up will be. We'll hit this level, we'll stop here. Will the retracement be a lot less and then continue down? It's hard to say. I don't really know. That's why I was only looking for 30 pips on that small move retracement. Okay. So my next order will be breaking of this low. That's when I'll look for another potential bounce back up. So if this goes down, stops here, I'll be looking for another bounce back up to counter this move down. Okay. The Euro Australian dollar. Sorry, the pound Australian dollar. There was no trade on this pair, but there was a potential one on the 4-hour, and it did move 400 pips. Harami candle after a big bearish candle here, and it did move up as well, just like all the other pound pairs did. It was only about 28 pips on this pair. And because I was on the pound Japanese yen, I didn't want to take a pound Australian dollar. I'm just very wary of double dipping with my trades. I don't want to do that. I'm very cautious. I usually won't have more than two. I won't be trading more than two pairs at a time with this type of trading. The pound US dollar. Nothing really on this pair. It's been a little less volatile than the other ones, in my opinion. It has had this nice push up of about 100 pips, but no indication in here for me that there was going to be a bounce. Last week, though, I was saying that this level was pretty strong here, and I did have. There was no candle reversal here, engulfing or harami or anything like that. But I did have some trades on the other pound pairs, and I was expecting a move up. Um, that level was broken here, but it's still technically still holding. It did bounce below it, but I guess if you're talking technical, it was a fake breakout, and then it bounced back up. And after this level was broken here, I would expect the next level to be here for this move up. So on my analysis, guys, I don't trade my like trend analysis or my levels or channels or anything like that. It's very rare that I do that. I'm still technically a counter trend trader, and I'm looking for potential retracements in the market or pullbacks, since that's the name of my signal. And so this analysis is just to help me understand what's going on, why the pair is doing what it's doing, what levels are strong, and what levels are weak, where the trend is going, all that kind of stuff. It just helps me in my analysis of countering the trend. All right, so we talked about my standard 8 pairs already. And I hit my profit on the pound Japanese yen during the stream already, and I'm waiting to see what happens on the euro Australian dollar. Hoping for a bounce here, back up. Potentially, if this moves up, I may close my trade at break even. So if this moves back up, I may close it out at break even on this trade, because it is about 45 pips from my entry, which is not large, but it's not incredibly small either. I'm doing fine, as you can see. Just $80 drawdown on a $25,000 account. Okay, so you may see some other pairs going on my charts. I'm going to talk about that in just a second. I'm going to make sure that I don't have anybody talking on my YouTube page. Doesn't look like it. Okay. Any questions? Please let me know during the stream. Dwan Neely. Gold. I don't do gold since my broker doesn't offer it. But you were asking about the odd CAD. Yeah, let me get into those pairs in just a second. I'm going to talk about the trades that I made last night. As you can see, I made. This is what my account looks like currently. Okay, so you can see the trade I'm in now. This is my live account. Trade history. So this is the pound Japanese yen. That's the one I just took for 30 pips profit. But there was one I took last night as well for 20 pips, and then there was also a USD CAD, a UC trade that I took as well. So the pound Japanese yen, that was actually an hour candlestick that went against me initially, but it bounced back up. So this move down, I mean, it was actually pretty big, large move down. Then I saw this harami candle here. So bearish candle, followed by harami candle, enter on the next candle right here, and looking for, I'd set my take profit to just 20 pips on this trade, which was about right here. And so it went against me initially, and then it bounced back up and hit my profit. Uh, and then it just kind of stayed staggered for a while, and then it jumped back up, as you can see. So that was the pound Japanese yen trade that I took for 20 pips back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 hours ago. So, okay, so I'll talk about the US dollar Canadian trade that I took. Now, this is a different pair than I typically trade, but I've been doing some research on it to see how this pair reacts to 4-hour charts, to see if my counter trend trading would work well on it, and doing some initial back testing, I did see that it would work very well. And so I took my first trade back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours ago. Actually 5 hours ago. My entry was so a new high was made. Hirami candle entry right there on the next candle, moved down. That happened. It moved down 40 something pips, I think. Yeah, 41 pips. My profit was 20. So my entry was here, and my profit was about right there. So it was a pretty small trade. I wasn't looking to take a lot on it, and it worked out very well. Which one is still going? Rich guy. Okay, rich guy. Are you talking? Okay, you're talking to me, hopefully. Okay, no, you're talking to FX Magician. I still have one trade in, and that's on the Euro Australian dollar, which I'm waiting to close out. It's a long position. Okay, guys. So I'm looking at some other pairs. The same reasoning behind the U.S. dollar Canadian, the U.S. dollar Canadian, USD CAD is I'm looking at the 4-hour charts on these other pairs. Right now, I'm looking at the odd Japanese yen, the CAD Japanese yen, the New Zealand Japanese yen, NZD, USD, odd CAD, and potentially pound CAD and Euro CAD as well. Now, the reasoning behind these is because the 4-hour these pairs a lot of them do react well to the 4-hour charts using my counter trend method, and so I'm looking at trades on these pairs. I haven't seen anything for a while. I did almost take the CAD Japanese yen on this really weak Harami candle. It was pretty weak. As you can see, the wick was pretty tall, but this move here happened, and I almost took that trade for a bounce back up. But instead of taking that, I went with the pound Japanese yen. So any pairs that you guys want me to do some analysis for, we could talk about levels, trend lines, where I think it's going. Although I don't know how much that matters, because if you're in a trade and you're just trying to figure out where to take your profit, it's probably best for you to try to figure that out yourself. But I can help you do that as well. All right, so I think we just had some news come out. I think it was the pending home sales. Excuse me. Okay, wow. Looked like it was a pretty big difference. I wonder if that's going to change how the market's reacting. Currently not a lot. Just about 10 pips on the Euro US dollar. It could affect my Euro Australian dollar trade a bit with that positive USD news coming out. So it's not moving yet. It could be a delayed reaction. We'll have to wait and see over the next couple of minutes. So the next trades I'm looking at for now, looking at this level to be broken. So this to move down before I take another buy a long US dollar UJ. I'm looking at this to close out in profit, potentially looking to break even if this moves back up. I am looking for new highs with potential haramis or bearish engulfing candles in this area. I won't be taking any positions on this pair because as long as I'm in the Euro Australian dollar pair. Okay. You already know what's happened on the GJ. Looking for this level to be broken, so this to move back down after the retracement, break that level, and then I'd enter, look to buy the market again. Same thing here. Although we did have a, that's not quite a harami there. This one is here though. So this move here, this would have been a great entry right there for the move back up. So we had a new low, a bullish harami candle. Went down a little bit further and then bounced back up. And I would expect this to move even higher. All right. Looks like the dollar is still not quite reacting to that those home sales yet. What other chat program are you on? Is coming from YouTube. I am on forexsignals.com. Check them out. They have a trader room that's really helpful and awesome there. Okay, so still looking for this to move up, like I said, a little bit more, and then hoping for a break that back down on this level. And then I'd look to get into the pair again. I'm gonna be really cautious because the news is gonna start to pick up this week, guys. Wednesday, and Thursday, there's a ton of news coming out, and so I'm gonna play things safe. I might even not call it completely this week, but I'm really gonna pick my pairs and my trades carefully. I might even do less pips. Sometimes I do 30, 40 pip, take profits on some of my trades, but I'll probably just stick to 20 pips in hopes that I don't get stuck in some news. So that's the hope for me. I stay. You guys may know since I've been doing this stream for a while. I try to stay out of the news completely unless I'm in a basket trade. So, for example, if I'm still in this euro pound trade, by the time the news comes out, I'm not going to close it out for loss. I'm going to play out the news and try to play the levels as best I can, and work with the news as best I can as well. Okay, looking at some of the questions. Is USD strong? I mean, that's a very general question, but it has been for a while. I mean, if you're looking at it during versus at least the euro it's been definitely moving down and making new lows constantly. It hasn't been a very volatile pair though, but it's definitely had this nice, like what I like to draw, this staircase type of motion. So I think that it will continue to go down and break this level and make a new low. Yeah, I can, Will T. I can explain the Harami candle. I should probably do this at least once a week, so thanks for reminding me. Uh, I recommend you guys look up at your candlesticks. It's important to know um, what candlesticks patterns are, so you can have an idea of what they do on the market, um, and the potential times that they show reversals. There's candlesticks are really pretty much the only thing I use now. I don't use any other indicators. I've said before, I feel like they're lagging. They show you what's happening when it's already too late. They show you to enter a trade when it's too late. The move that you were trying to get in is already done. That's my opinion on how I feel uh, indicators slow us down. So let's see if I can find. I mean, this is a decent. It's not an amazing example. So it's when you have a move up, inside candle, and move back down. So a trend is moving up, and you have a new high, and then an inside candle. When you have the inside candle, it's a good indication that the uh, pair has hit a peak, and a lot of traders are taking their profit up here and potentially entering short. So a retracement potentially in the trend, or a complete reversal of the trend entirely. That can definitely happen. Let's see if I can find another example somewhere in here. But there's so many different candle reversal patterns that you can look up. I mean, I just look up candlestick reversal patterns, and you'll see they'll probably help your trading a lot to show you what's going on. At least it can help you with confirmation. So if you have a strategy or a system that you're using, and you want to make sure, or you're wondering if if you enter here, it's a good position. It's just another way of confirming. I actually use Harami and engulfing and candlestick patterns, reversal patterns, as my only confirmation against the trend. So my idea is, and why I'm a counter trend trader I'm thinking of the trend trading is really difficult because we don't know how far the trend is going to go in that direction. We don't know how long to hold our positions for. We don't know where to take our profit. Yeah, we could use levels, but if you know the market, it seems completely random that these levels are helpful, but they're really difficult in having our trades take profit because we don't know if. Let's see if I can give you an example. Let's say that we enter our trade right here. Hold on, let me change my color. We enter a sell position there. Now, a typical place to look for taking profit would be there, right? Because this would move down. If it's moving in a trend, it will typically retest this level, and it could bounce from there, or it could break through it and continue. Now, that's typically what I did before. I would look for these cutback levels and enter on the trend, and instead I might take profit at these levels. And a lot of times, if it's trending pretty heavily, it will hit these levels like it did there. It hit that level here, and we yet to see what's going to happen with this potential move back down. Is it going to hit this level? Is it going to bounce just before it, and so like just above it, and then bounce back up? So we'll even hit that level before it completely reverses and goes up in a completely new direction. So why I don't we never know if this level is going to be hit. I really don't know, and I don't want to take that risk because the more pips that I try to take in profit, the more risk I'm putting it on myself. So if I'm trying to taking 20 pips profit is harder than taking is easier than taking 21 pips profit. So just 1 pip more. The longer that you're in the market, the harder it is uh, to make a profit. At least that's my opinion. Okay, let's see. Okay, so I got a lot of questions on YouTube. Axe. Yes, it's forexsignals.com for those on YouTube. Am I from Axe Capital? No, I am not, if that's a question towards me. Okay. Moving back to Forex Signals trading room. Let's see, we have some questions. Good morning. Can you let me know a bit more about the pound Australian dollar? Yeah, I've mentioned talked a little bit about this pair. It's moved down from I'm looking at the peak down to the bottom. That's 422 pips. It has been trending this trend line, and it did, I guess, break this level. We had higher lows happening. This one here. I entered a trade last week in that area for a small bounce. That happened. And then it recently has broke that level. And I think is now on its way back down. I said today I expected a small retracement. I don't know where it's going to cut out. These are the two levels I'm looking at for this move back up. So here and potentially in here already. So it did move past that level, but I'm expecting in this area it's going to show some ranging before it either pops back up or decides it's going to move back down. So if we're looking at some of the levels that have been made on this pair, we're looking at these three. This one was already broken, so X out of that. This one was as well here. This one was. So right now we've broken. These are not. This is not a strong level here, but these two were broken, and I would expect this to move down and move up and then move back down. So that's my outlook on the pound. It's not really thorough. I don't think it really needs to be. Like I said, I don't trade in this way. I do look at the trends. I need to see where they're going. I'm looking at the levels. I'm looking at the new highs that are being made, and I'm looking for levels to be broken. But the biggest thing I'm looking for is the move from the top to the bottom to counter the move that's currently happening, which is a 422 pip move that happened going down, and I'm looking to enter the market there for a bounce back up. That happened, and I already took my profit. Let's see. Ryan, let me comment on strategy with you. If you place volume in H4 and a Mayer volume last week and place an extreme, you can check at that. It will react at least 200. I'm not sure. Reach at least 200 level or more. The trend will be C for the next two candle. Please comment. I understand that your English is probably not your first language, so I'm trying to make sense of everything that you're saying. So give me a moment. I'm not quite sure what you mean, Juan Neely. Um, give me 1 second. I haven't experimented much with range bars, uh, and range bars a lot of times are good for like breakouts and stuff like that, right? Is that what you use it for? Um, but no, I don't. That's not something that I typically use and am currently using. Okay. John Neely, first indicator volume. H4 showing the week. Yeah. Look at the biggest volume last week. Then Fibbo extension. So if we're looking at the pound Australian dollar. So are you talking about this move here? Uh, so this so this bearish engulfing. Yeah, that's definitely according to my signal or my type of trading. If I'm countering this move, that's definitely a bearish engulfing candle, but it was really large. So typically I wouldn't enter a sell position there, just because there was so much movement in that one candle. Yeah, John Neely, it does work on any pair. The higher time frames, I would recommend sticking with those. Um, they're a bit more accurate, especially on off pairs. That's what I'm experimenting with now. Is trading this my method on some of the other pairs on the 4-hour charts. I've already had one successful trade on the U.S. dollar Canadian, a Canadian pair, and just taking 20 pips. But expect to see some potential other pairs being executed on my account. Dream Rock, yeah. To whom this may concern, remember not to trade when you are anxious or upset. That's very true. Uh, Emotions. I think that's probably the hardest thing to deal with in trading. It was probably the hardest thing for me to overcome. Um, I remember I've been trading for 11 years now, so it's been a long time. And I was always in my beginning stages. I was always basically hoping, if I was in drawdown on a pair, I was always like hoping and praying that it would turn around. And instead of just closing it out for a loss and taking that loss, I would just kind of like cross my fingers and thinking, it's it's not gonna lose, you know. And and so yeah, emotions did get the best of me in the early years. I lost quite a bit of money, um, and it was difficult. I mentioned before that I almost even lost my marriage over it. I was so involved in trading that um, I couldn't let it go. My wife hated it. She hated it because I spent so much time trading, looking at the charts, and what was it all for? So I could lose money. It didn't seem like something that made sense to her. Uh, so she almost gave me an ultimatum. She almost said, you know, either it's basically trading or me. Uh, and at the time, I was so mad. I was like, I don't want to give up on my dream. This is, I'm gonna try to tough this out. And so I made a promise to her that I wouldn't trade any real money until I was ready. And that I traded on a demo account for 5 years until I could profit longer um, than a month. And it took me 10 years before I could profit longer than 3 months. Uh, and now I'm able to profit. I've been in profit for the last 15 months right now. So 10 years to be profitable than 3 months at a time, and it's been very nice, and I hope that continues. Let's see what you guys are saying. Dream Rock, yeah, I can relate to that. Learn to automate. Well, I don't know if that includes expert advisors or anything like that, but I have done expert advisors in the past. I've mentioned this to a few members that I paid a programmer, a pretty talented guy, to create a bunch of EAs for me. So those of you that are into EA trading, I'll just touch on that briefly. Uh, I don't want to say it doesn't work. I think that EA trading can. There are some people on SimpleTrader.com that have EAs and they do very well. But there's the big problem with EAs is that they can't adjust to the market change the changes that the market gives. Um, as you may know, that the market's always changing, and we kind of have to adapt to that. EAs really struggle adapting when there's huge news or some economic events that happen, earthquakes, disasters, uh, stock market crashes. EAs can't really adapt to those situations, causing potential for massive loss. That's why I recommend to not follow an EA, because they don't take these things into consideration. Um, I've had EAs in the past. I have one now. Uh, you can see it. This is what my EA that I have has done over the past since '94 in backtest. So 1994 on the euro pound, and it's turned 10,000 into 400,000 all on autopilot. Now the thing is that at one point the relative drawdown was 76%, so that was the highest at the highest point. Now it had also the maximum drawdown was 37%, but you should be looking at the relative drawdown. Now the thing is that I can't really use this. I'm not going to trade something that has a 76% drawdown on my account, so I can gain 3% per month, which is decent. But the thing is that I'm still not going to take that risk. So what I do with these EAs that I have is I test the strategies to see what's working, and so I can implement some of the aspects from them into my live trading. And that's what I've been doing for the past 3 years, and it's been very beneficial for me. Okay, so let's go back to some of the questions. Then you can get rid of wife. Maybe you mean yeah, Potter. I can always expect you to crack some jokes around here. Sorry, I got something in my eye. I think you're not alone in the boat, having gone through that, Ryan. Thanks, Sniper FX. Yeah, it's these things. Trading's hard. There's a reason why 95% of us lose. I mean, you guys are probably sick of hearing that number. How everybody brings that up, and I was kind of sick of it too. I wanted to be that person that was different, that didn't fall into that trap. But if I have any word for advice to you, would be to don't follow the crowd. Just because somebody else is doing this doesn't mean that it's the right decision. Do something different. Do something. That's why I've always tried to think outside the box, because if you know that 95% of traders are losing, that means that they're all following each other. They're all doing the same techniques, and they're all learning and teaching each other. And so it's like that saying that I use, the blind leading the blind. So try to think a little differently, and I think that might start you down a new path where you may become more profitable. Ryan, what does your golden fib mean to you? Golden fib? What's the golden fib? Am I lost in thinking what the golden fib is? Uh, how much value do you put in the golden fib? What is the golden? Are you calling that my candle the golden fib? The one that the harami? Is that what you were saying? Calling the golden fib, golden fib? Maybe you can elaborate a little bit. Trading's not hard. It's us humans that complicate it. FX Mexican. Yeah, that's. I mean, if it's us humans that complicate it, then isn't that still mean it's hard because we make it complicated? Uh, Fibonacci. I don't use Fibonacci's. Uh, I mean, why would I need to use Fibonacci levels for this type of trading when I can clearly see the levels are that the support resistance levels already by just looking at the chart. Um, Fib levels, I think, are you're gonna maybe not like this. Hopefully, I don't piss some people off. Uh, I think that Fib levels are almost useless. Don't kill me for that, because we look at Fib levels to help us know when and where to take profit, right? And it also helps us know when to enter trades as well. But when does price ever really follow Fibonacci levels? Very often. I mean, it's almost never. It's like I don't think it's a meaningless indicator, but I do think that placing your profit and your entries based on that indicator is a has a lot of potential for problems because we're relying on an indicator to make decisions for us and to let us know where to take our profit, how many pips. When I hear this, 50% Fibonacci retracement level, that the market has to go there or the pair has to go there. We don't know that. I don't know that. So I don't wait for that to happen. I don't wait for a 50% retracement. I just take my profit at 20 to 30 pips and keep it that way. Fibonacci levels work best with Elliott waves. Fibonacci levels work best when in combination with other types of indicators. Now, I'm a big advocate for not using indicators, but if you use Fibonacci levels with other indicators, giving you more of an indication what potentially can happen, or or a prediction that you're making, then I think that is a better way to use that type of indicator. Um, but yes, Fibonacci levels are very old school, though, and so are Elliott wave patterns. That's what G. Sadler said. I it's just these indicators, man. I really struggle being pro indicator. Uh, I know people say that naked trading is the best. I'm not going to say that naked trading is the best because I know there's a lot of people that use indicators and have success with them. But don't rely on them. Why rely on something that's not really reading the market very well? It's not looking at the candlesticks. It's not a human brain. So I don't want to put all my eggs into something that's definitely flawed. That's more flawed than maybe myself. What about FXCM pivot points? Is that an indicator that's special just to FXCM? Haven't used FXCM's Java platform, so I wouldn't know what you're talking about. When I was on FXCM, uh, I was using their MetaTrader 4. Yes, trade up. Indicators lag, and that's been a known fact for a long time. Uh, there's for a lot of you new traders out there, don't rely on indicators telling you to buy and sell. I did that for too many years. An arrow indicator, for example, like let me see, let me show you. Uh, so I've been looking at this indicator, for example. It's a custom indicator. There's a lot of custom indicators that you can get for MetaTrader 4. Now, the entering points are here, there, buy, sell. And these kind of indicators are fairly dangerous because they give you false signals all the time. And so what I've been exploring is, instead of writing these out from buy to sell and sell to buy, I just take a small piece of each of these moves. Now, there are still ways to make some indicators work, and even custom indicators like the one that you see here to work, but you have to modify them and adjust them in a way that it's not like this blind buy and sell type of situation. If you trade the market like that, you're in for a disaster. Yeah, yes, there is a FXCM TradeStation platform. Yeah, I have not used that, but I hear it's okay. Is it good just to trade purely based on news? News trading, I know some people that do that. I think it's really difficult because you don't know exactly what's going to happen to the pair that you're trading based off the news. So typically you think, okay, if the U.S. news comes out and it's high impact and it's negative, then the U.S. dollar will lose value compared to the other pairs, or in relation to the other pairs. That's not always the case. The traders are going to react to different news statements differently than you think, and so it's really hard to be a news trader to know which news statements are going to affect the market in the way that you think. That's one reason why I've stayed away from news trading, because the outcome is never how it seems it should be, or it's not enough. How you think it will turn out. So what we do know with news trading is that the markets are going to be volatile on certain news statements. That's what I know. So if I see that the FOMC statement's coming out, and if it changes, I know that there's going to be a massive reaction. It's likely that if they change the interest rate, that the dollar could drop or it could rise. We don't really know what will happen, how the traders are going to perceive that type of news. Are they going to see it as negative? Are they going to see it as positive? So that's my feelings with news trading. All right, let's check out YouTube to see what's going on. Fibs are the best. A lot of people love. Yeah, I know. A lot of people love Fibonacci levels. That's why I knew that I might get into trouble saying something negative about them. But why use Fib levels when you can just draw the levels out yourself? You don't need an indicator showing you where the market's going to go. Just study the charts. Don't use training wheels all the time. Look at the chart without any indicators on and try to figure out what's going on. Draw stuff on it like I'm doing. I see a clear trend line here. I see a staircase motion. I see levels. You don't need all these indicators showing you these things when basically they're trying to do the same thing that I'm doing here, but not as good. Okay. I trade on GJ, Ryan. Thanks. So we're little trade update. What's going on? So our Euro odd is now moving in a good way. There's potential, like I told you before, that I might close out at the break-even level here, which is not that far away now. We've had some positive movement on the euro odd. We're about 20 pips away from my buy level. And the news reaction has been kind of a bust on the euro USD. Almost no action going on in this pair. The retracement, as I said here, is still happening on these pairs. I expect it to go probably a bit higher, although that level is my first possible reversal point back down. My second one would be here, so it could go up far higher and then reverse and go back down there. Let's check out the other pairs that I was in before. So the pound Japanese yen has cut back a little bit. There was this level here. It almost reached it there. So this could come back down. I'm expecting that this will come back. This won't retrace as much on the pound pairs. I still feel like there's too much pressure going on in the UK right now. And it's still very up in the air what's happening over there. Okay. So we'll keep that up on there. I think trading to make, hold on a second, because I can fit fib on anything in life. Wait, hold on a second. I think I might be reading stuff out of order here. Yeah. Are you talking about, wait, whose chart are you talking about? Are you talking about mine, or are you talking about the one? Okay. Yeah, that's the thing is that why use, if I'm looking at levels, why use a Fibonacci indicator when you can write the levels out yourself? I'm not a level trader anyways. I'm a counter trend trader. So that's not what I'm looking for. I know that a lot of you guys are trend traders. It seems like most traders are either range trading or trend trading. But I would think that the vast majority is trend trading. So fib levels are not huge for me. So it's irrelevant saying that they are all on his levels. It should only be on confirmation. G Sadler, yes, that should be one of the confirmations that you're using. But I see it so many times though. There's what people keep saying, that I think that I'm using fib levels to know where to take profit. And it's this idea again of letting your profits ride and cutting your losses short. Letting your profits ride, the longer you let them ride, the harder it is for you to actually lock in those pips, and the more likely it is for you to lose profit by doing that. I think trading and making money is about to identify what. The price is, yes, the price is driven by the banks, the majority. Us retail traders don't really affect the market because our accounts are just so small and insignificant in comparison. Knowing what the big guys are doing, it's really difficult. There's so much manipulation going on with them that it's really hard to read, and that's why I kind of take the market from a very random standpoint, where you've heard me say before, I don't really know what's going to happen. There's always, and I said I don't like predicting the market, and I've said before that I'm still predicting what I think is going to happen, but I'm not predicting based on news. I'm not predicting because this news statement came out. People are saying that the stimulus of in Japan is not going to be as severe as they thought. I'm not going to sell the U.S. dollar Japanese yen based on that news. I'm going to look at the candlesticks to see what's happening with the technical side. But I'm going to be aware that there could potentially be some downside on the yen. Sorry, not downside, but on the yen pairs, and some gaining in value on the yen because of that news statement. So I'm going to keep that in the back of my head. But as I'm trading. Okay, I'm looking on YouTube. Uh, 50 flick, I'm not sure who you're talking to. Why do you think that there is any support level on the chart? I'm not sure what chart you're talking or referring to. Ryan, can I ask you you a take profit for your Euro USD monthly? uh, Take profit? I'm not in on a Euro US dollar trade right now, but I mentioned that I was looking at these levels, and I'm expecting this to go back down. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I would expect at least the pair to continue to push down. I'm thinking that it's going to move down on the technical side and on the fundamental side. I still think that the euro still has more to go. So that level, if you're asking me where you want to take, where if you sold the euro right now, so that would be 1.09885. That would be your entry. My take profit would be roughly 1.09591. So that's what I'd be looking for on that pair, and that's about 30 pips. I'm not going to take that position. That's not how I trade. But if you're, but I've done trading in the past, and I had some success with it, and that's what I would be looking for. Yes, thank you, Will Thomas. Yes, you can join the chat room at forexsignals.com if you want to chat and join and see the stream there as well. Currently doing US dollar CAD uptrend using yeah, that should be pretty good. The U.S. dollar Canadian, the U.S. dollar CAD is been really pushed up. I mean, the news that came out last week pushed it up a lot. This is on the 4-hour chart too, and so it's definitely due for a retracement of some sort. And it did just recently happen, some retracement in the last hour or so, by just 35 pips. Don't know if it's going to continue. I haven't seen any indication that there is going to be some more down movement here. I'm looking up here as well. The last trade I took was, or I would take, was here with Harami there. I did enter a trade on the 4-hour US dollar Canadian. And I showed it earlier. I entered on that Harami right after that for just 20 pips. Okay. All right, so I'm trying to get to everybody's questions. I'm sorry. What are you using to draw on the chart? It's called, I think it's called Magic Pen. Epic Pen. Whoops. Epic Pen is convenient to use. It's not really like I think FX Saint has a better tool for drawing on the computer screen. But this one does just fine. You search it, it's free. Epic Pen. Pound US dollar looking to go down. Yes. If you're looking at just, let's check a few things. It's very ranging to me. I mean, you have this. There's too much of this going on to me on this pair. I don't think the pound US dollar is a good pair to be trading right now. I would look for this level down here to be broken again before I'd enter to buy the market. But this pair is just really flat right now, especially in comparison to some of the other pairs that are moving. I don't think it's a great pair to be trading, at least right now. Do you believe even if people don't use indicators, support resistance lines are still fundamental, a very fundamental technique? Uh, I do. Yeah, I do think that support and resistance is crucial. Support and resistance is crucial in trading. I would say that support and resistance is nearly the most important thing to be aware of in trading. You have to know a couple things. The two most important things to me are where the trend is, what it's doing. Is it going up or going down? How to tell that? Um, where are the support resistance levels? Can you pick them out without an indicator? Do you need Fibonacci levels to pick that out? Are your levels good? Are they? Do you trust your support resistance levels? It took me years to figure out where to place support resistance in the correct areas. And just because, even when I say the correct areas, some people might think that they're different. Like they think that their support resistance areas are different than mine. And that's fine. But for the most part, if they should be pretty close along the board. So somebody might say that I think this is a good support level and this in here, but I don't think this is a very good support level. But this is, and this is. So they might mark something that's slightly different than me, or maybe even radically different. But for the most part, it should be fairly similar. But I do think that knowing where the trend is and support resistance are two of the most important things to know. And we don't need indicators to tell us what the trend and where the support resistance lines are. Trading with the trend, my friend. Yeah, dude. G Sadler. That's just not what I do. I used to. I found it frustrating because the trend would go on without me, and I wouldn't know where to take my profit. Yeah, I could use some price action techniques to help me, but it was frustrating to me, especially when you get stuck in a complete trend reversal, and that happens so often, where you enter into trend, you think it's going to go down further, and it completely reverses right at your entry. I've had that happen so many times that I finally got tired of it. Where, let's see if I can find you an example. Okay. I know that there's probably a ton of people that look at this trade on the pound. And they entered right down in here for sell. For this to continue to going down. They're thinking, oh, this move here is it's so strong, it's going to continue to go down. And then they sell there, and then they totally get destroyed, and then it goes way against them. Now, if their stop loss is short, that's fine, and they get kicked out. But the thing is that when people are trend trading, they keep their losses. You have to keep your losses short, and your profits longer in trend trading. And it's so hard to make that happen because you can have streams of like 10 to 15, 20 losses in a row, and it can really hurt your account, and make you're very emotional as well, causing you to make bad decisions. Martingale, because you've had 10 losing trades in a row, so you're going to use more risk this time around and shoot for it's such a dangerous game to play with this idea of cutting your losses short and letting your profits ride, because of how many losses you can potentially have in a row and how hard it is mentally on the trader. one of the reasons why I stay away from it. What's your thoughts on Heikin-Ashi bars? They're okay. I used to use them a little bit for trends, but I find that they're still delayed. They're still not as quick as just reading the actual candlesticks. I find it much more accurate just reading the regular old-fashioned Japanese candlesticks. Heikin-Ashi is slightly delayed. You can use. I've seen people use Heikin-Ashi um, for confirmation on some of the trades that they take, and it's actually considering the indicator. It's not that. It's one of the indicators that's not as delayed as as a lot of the others, in my opinion. But it still has that problem. What are your thoughts? Let's see. Pound is about to go down. Would you agree? I think I mentioned before, I wouldn't trade this pair right now. It's in a slight range. This level here. I mean, if you really were gutsy, enter a trade going down there, but I don't know, man. That's just not me. That's too ranging to me. I would find that, I mean, everything I'm in has already taken place. You saw the positions that I took before. Unfortunately, guys, all the positions that I thought were good for today have already taken place. If you want to join me on my Euro Australian dollar, you can enter a position here. And have a take profit be my entry or even my potential exit there. I'm probably going to drop my take profit. Actually, I am to 20 pips on this trade. So if you entered here, you could take profit on one of these two levels, and that would be my recommendation right now. This is my pending order; it hasn't been hit yet. And we're getting some good movement back up on the Euro Australian dollar. Can we check the New Zealand USD? I'm long from, yes, sure. This has been a very interesting pair. I know Kilimanjaro is in on sells on this pair, on very a lot of sells on this pair, expecting it to go down in a big way. I know a few other traders that are selling right now, and oh, hold on a second. Yeah, I know of a lot of other traders selling the NU right now. You entered at 07077. Let's mark that. Okay. So was this your sell entry? Oh, you're long. You're long right there. I see. I don't know. My call would be short on this pair. With how this candle is reacting right now too. Yeah, definitely short. So if you're looking at the 1 hour, it's only 133 pip retracement on that trend. But I'm looking at this Harami candle here. New high, Harami with the trend breaking down. I'm thinking that this is actually gonna move down potentially in a pretty big way. Now, where is it gonna move down to? What are we looking for? So we have the entry here for it to move down, and it's been doing that. Where are our levels that we should be looking at for potential take profit levels? Now, this is if you're using like basically Fibonacci's. I'm not even going to bother using those right now. But this is the first level I'd be looking at. Now I just took it from looking at this bounce here, back up, big gap, and then there is likely just one support level in here, and I would just place it there. So I would be looking for this to go back down to this area before it could jump back up. If it closes below 70140, then I would expect more downward movement after that. If a candlestick closes below. So if you're long, I don't know. This is counter trend trading in a big way. The thing is that there's a potential that you just entered right at the peak when I was just talking about, right near the peak before things start reversing back down in the trend. And you might have been a little too late on this initial move, on this bounce back up. I hope that's not the case. I'm crossing my fingers for you, but that's how I see it. Thanks for the name. Dow theory? Do you think it's real or just a theory? I don't know the theory that you're talking about. How about the AU 1 hour chart? Yeah, sure. You guys are very active today. Lots of questions. Yeah, this is moving down. Just like I was telling before, the Euro Australian dollar and the AUD USD are correlated. So when this is moving down, the the Euro AUD is moving up. Nothing in there. Well, actually, nothing in here, but there is a Harami, very weak Harami there with some down movement, and we're actually getting some of that now with this candle here. I would expect that this would move back down, and the levels I'm looking at are there and here for it to go to. Now, just because I think that these levels are here, I'm thinking that traders are looking at these levels as well. That happened previously, so potentially they're looking at it for to take profit. Potentially a bounce, a breakthrough, so the price could potentially be shaky at these levels, and that's why it's a decent area to be taking profit in. Let's look at the 4 hour, see if there's any other signs. All right, so the 4 hours is giving us a bearish engulfing currently. I don't know when this candle is going to end at 8. It still has this candle still has an hour left, but it did make a new high. It's right now. It would close below the open of the previous candle, and that would be a bearish engulfing with a new high, a new low, close below the open, and we still have an hour before that happens. But that does happen. There is more potential on the downside. This could go down. Using my technique with the trend. So typically I use this kind of idea with countering the trend, but this movement happened with the trend, well, only about 100 pips, but it did move up, and this would be a pretty good indication if it closed about where it is now, for this to continue moving back down. Okay. Let's see. Sell trade. Sell rallies on odd for tomorrow. CPI, the game. Yeah, there's some news coming out later today on the Australian dollar. That could affect the trades that I'm in now, or the ones that you are in as well. I'm sure AU 752, take profit 747. $752. That's pretty. 747. Yeah, you're shooting for a pretty big take profit there. About 50 pips. A lot bigger than I typically do. But if you're trend trading, then yeah, that's. I'm not sure why this level though. Why the 74.6. I'm looking at. I mean, you're right in the middle of all those support resistance areas. I mean, there's. I guess if. I don't know if you use that on the fib level or not. I do see a couple levels in here though. I mean, that's kind of how I'm seeing it right now. Your entry was up there. It's kind of messy in here. So if you want to break it down to the 4 hour, you could do that. And you'd get less lines. Yeah. It's an iffy area in here to know where good levels are. And it's always a guess, and it's a bit choppy in this area. So, yeah. In you, I'm bullish. Yeah. Some of you guys are bullish on the New Zealand USD. I just recently said I think it's going to go down more. And those are the two levels I'm looking at for it to go to potentially. Good night, Tony D. Have a good one. UC flying. Is it the UCAD or UCH? Yeah, this pair has really been going in a big way. 80 pips today. Now, this could be a pretty good pair for a trade here in the next hour. Now, it hasn't moved an incredible amount, but I mean, just in the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours, it has. Now look at all these green candles, about 80 pips total. Now, I would be looking for an inside candle on this next one. So we have about 55 minutes left to see what this candle does. If it doesn't break the high and if it closes inside, then I would expect to see some downward movement. And hold on a second, guys. I might be running too late. Oh, Josh needs. Oh, okay. I'm pushing in Josh's time. I'm gonna have to end, guys. So if you have any questions, you're gonna have to ask Josh. And Josh is awesome, so he's gonna give you some really great advice on what's going on. So I will be back tomorrow, and at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. And if you guys have any further questions for how I'm trading or what trades you're in, we'll pick up from there. And make sure to check out my SimpleTrader account. And if you want to follow me, you can do that. The name's Pullback. I use compliance signal, and I'll put a link in the chat description. All right, thanks so much, guys. Have a good day and happy profits.